You know them for buying in bulk at steep discounts, but right now, Costco is taking the extraordinary step of suing the federal government over the Trump-era tariffs, arguing the White House overstepped its emergency powers. And with the Supreme Court now weighing the legality of those tariffs, the outcome could reshape everything from import prices to presidential authority. Time for a deep dive now on this with attorney and legal analyst Nadine Jones. Nadine, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Nadine, how unusual is this? You got a major retailer like Costco suing over tariffs tied to presidential emergency powers.
What Costco's really doing is putting a mark in time. So it's anticipating that the Supreme Court is going to render the IEEPA tariffs unlawful. And if it does so, if the Supreme Court does so, Costco wants to be in a position to then seek a refund from Customs, Border and Protection. So that's really what the lawsuit is about. It certainly agrees with plaintiffs in the VOS Selections and Learning Resources case that IEEPA does not authorize the imposition of tariffs. But what it's really doing with the present case that it filed, it's tolling it's putting a stop in time to allow it the opportunity to seek a refund.
So what exactly?
That's not too technical.
Yeah. What exactly, Nadine, does Costco need to prove to try and reclaim some of these tariff payments?
Well, it's trying to wait out the clock. So we expect the Supreme Court to render a decision June of 2026. I actually think it's going to be sooner than that, but let's say it's on schedule to render its decision June of 2026. Costco's window to challenge the tariffs imposed by Customs closes just at that time. So it's gauging its odds against, first of all, a strike down of the IEEPA Liberation Day tariffs by the Supreme Court. And then does the window of opportunity exist for it to then seek a refund from Customs? So it's playing the clock, so to speak. So that's why they filed this lawsuit.
As the year rolled on, Nadine, we saw the Trump administration roll back some of these tariffs on certain products. How do you think that might weigh on this case?
You know, I'm not so sure it will help this case, because what it shows is how nimble and fluid and uncertain the imposition of tariffs are under IEEPA. There are other statutes that make it a little bit more rigid, actually maybe a lot more rigid, and the president wouldn't have the power to just one day say it's 25% tariffs, another day say it's 2%, another day say it's 125%. IEEPA is wide discretion to the president, wide discretion. And that's why the challenge is it wasn't intended to be used for tariffs. And we'll see what the Supreme Court has to say about that.
This could have massive implications beyond Costco if the retailer is able to win this case. What would that mean for prices on the shelves and ultimately for consumers?
Well, it's hard to say, because who's to say if Costco or other retailers were to get massive refunds in the form of millions or billions of dollars, maybe millions of dollars. Who's to say the consumer is going to benefit from that? I don't know. I don't know what Costco or other retailers will do. They might push it down. They might not. Maybe it'll depend on how much of the cost of imports they actually embedded in the consumer price. Some of these importers have been eating the cost. They've been eating it and not passing it down. So they might decide, look, we've been eating the cost, now we get the money back, we're going to keep the money. But it's hard to say if consumers will benefit in the immediacy of a refund.
Eyeing a June Supreme Court decision in this one, possibly sooner. Nadine Jones, thanks so much.
Thank you.